Okay, so anything is okay for them. If you have any question, please let us know. Also, we will try to expand some kind of question. Of course, time is a little bit running late, so now time schedule around 30 minutes, we will finish around 20 minutes. So effective and great question, we are welcoming. Okay? Okay. So, are you ready, by the way?
That's
okay.
what you get for allowing a number of professors to talk in the morning with only 30 minutes each. We're a little over, yeah.
Yeah. So anything, if you want to start, if you have any kind of impression about service design, I think this would be great timing to start. What about Jeremy?
Sure. I was just so impressed by the work from GK Design. I thought that was one of the things that we often forget about when we do service design is the importance of the craft of design as well, and those touch points, even though they were part of a much larger system, and I don't want to undersell that, but the craft of those touch points was very, very high level. And I think that's often what gives users such a fantastic experience when you have those brief moments of delight that you just weren't expecting. I also really enjoyed the third presentation this morning, which was really made me think about the future of service design and sort of that last slide about moving away from the Eurocentric double diamond model. I think this is an ongoing area of discussion because I think there's general agreement that we want to do that, but we don't have general agreement on what's next or is something better than that. I think that's sort of an interesting area to be in the world of discussion in service design.
Okay, so what about you, Daniela?
Okay, so well, I think that we have that diversity of presentation is very important because generally when we go conferences are kind of monothematic. It's nice to have diversity of inputs. I think the decision making is something we don't put a lot of attention to, and I think I like the integration of kind of a practice, a very systematic way of approaching decisions. There's no systematic approach in design because we privilege the creative side, but I think bringing some decision-making science into it, even smaller bits, can really help the processes. So it's something that food for thought. It was very relevant, and I like the diversity of project and scale. And then how the smaller things in terms of working on revealing the changes, the challenges within, for example, the nursing home to the massive and biggest projects. So the scale of practice of design in this kind of big strategic design consultancies, it's very valuable.
What do you think?
Well, decision making is quite difficult point, and always, it is biased by some authority guy came and he made, not consistent decisions. So if we can bring that kind of method, things will be more smooth. And sorry, I missed the first part of your presentation. But as you mentioned, the scale of transformation is quite diverse, and you can set, longer timeline or longer perspective. Then we can do a lot of more on the service design. Yes.
Okay. Here is one question from online. Okay, may I ask the speaker, how can social transformative changes be brought under limited resources and manpower? So the thing, how we can make a social transformation with the limited resource, how we can control kind of manpower. I think this is also a very challenging issue for social design and service design. any other kind of, some of you, do you have any ideas? Okay, you can.
Well, what always comes to mind is the old design phrase, turn constraints into features. And if it's a low budget, low resourced project, you just have to design around that. I'm sure there are other solutions, but that's always the one that comes to mind. And there are no solutions, there are only trade-offs. And when you're faced with sort of lower resources, you can actually make that a feature of the service.
Okay, do you have any comment?
It's not well. It depends on the context, of course, of the project, or if it's in general terms. For sure, we can say that some of the focus on replications, on scaling up existing practices, sometimes is about working around that. Some of the projects that are this kind of incubation project that we were presenting are examples where the investment is not a massive one, but it's really about bringing capabilities and capacities within communities and trying to support the growing up and of the social enterprises, for example. And that is more distributed, more diffused way of sustaining and developing change,
Okay.
for example.
Okay.
I,
Okay, go ahead.
if I see that design and community, I think there are roughly 3 different stages of the design and community. The first stage was designers go there, community mingle them together, observe them, and in something then came out design for community. So designers still do design with the base of understanding the community people. Then second stage, it's not only design also, we work together. So we go there, co-creation ideas and together and so on, so on. So design community people with the community people. But now, as also she mentioned, that's changing. It's not, designers' role is not only designing for themselves or design with them, but still finally designed by designers. But it's rather more we begin to enable community people so that community people, they can make their own creation of that community. So somehow designers' role is enable community people so that by community design, okay? So that kind of gradual changes, what I can see. So if you really, rather than one-shot design for community, but we enable them to learn that by themselves to identify what the problem is and so on, so on. If they learn something by themselves, that become really, really good colleague designers in a way, so that with even small resources, that can be like what expand to other things. I think that's what I observe.
Okay,
Can
good.
I
yeah,
add
sure.
some small thing?
Okay, big thing, okay.
No, actually, I'm not comfortable with about the idea of upscaling, especially if she or he doesn't have much resources. I think it's a good thing to keep it small and make it local. And if he or she is quite passionate, he or she should initiate by himself, by herself, and the result maybe organically expanding, or maybe they can fail, but it doesn't matter, I guess.
Okay, so actually, KP and Daniela and every speaker, they mentioned co-creation, value co-creation. So I read your paper, 2014, value co-creation kind of servicing news, and then how we can make kind of opportunity. It is a cycle, what I want to start, because this is how we can resource maximize and then make a kind of participation. So here, let's try to be here. It's a four really great scholars. This is time to make a question, right? Great, miracle comes. Okay.
Good morning. Hi, professors. Hi, KP. Yes. I'm a year one. Hi, I'm Melody. So I'm a year one PhD student at School of Design. And my research topic is like the combination of design and the financial technology-driven financial services, and also the user experience, customer experiences. So I have recently read some articles. They talk about the expandable AI and the responsible AI, how those AI concepts can be combined with design, and how to design the spaces for designers to use those tools. So since there are so many emerging technologies, I would like to know how to deliver like empathy, the explanation, the trustworthy among those core value of service design to the customers, to the users, also may even to the society. Yeah, that would be my question.
Okay, great question. This is PolyU design students kind of levels of question. So we are expecting your answer. Okay, let's start. Okay.
I think you almost need a whole another conference to answer that question. So maybe next year.
Okay, great.
I think that one of the things that's interesting about AI is because of generative AI and a lot of the other aspects of it, many traditional design roles are going away and will be going away. Even some user experience research can be done through AI. However, I think that it's starting to enhance relearning something that I think all designers, I think intuitively we have, but maybe we unlearned it for a while, is the concept of discernment, right? The ability to discern if something is good or bad, if something is ethical or unethical. And I actually believe that the future of design school will be shifting our training away from some of the technical skills that we teach, because those will be so automatic, and shifting it more towards discernment of ethics, of responsibility, and of what's really just what looks good and what looks bad. Because I think that we're going to need to build that into all of our future designers to ensure that we don't end up in a dystopian future.
Yes. Yes, I agree. There is a lot of attention now in service design education in trying to integrate more design justice and approaches that try to create the tools, the space for enhancing the capability of designer to reflect and anticipate bias or unintended consequences, and that is both for complex systems but also from technology-enabled services like AI, and that's something that is still lacking. So it's very emergent, and in some areas is more developed because of some traditions working more on technology or more on social justice, but I think that there needs to be much more on this and how to bring these two things together. So I think you're doing a great research.
I think when you look back the 1980s when computer comes in, as I briefly mentioned in my presentation, all designers are exciting about computers, who are really nervous about computers because first computer begin to draw for something, very nervous. So what designers do in the first stage, whenever new tools comes in, they try to bring that new technology applied for old method. Okay, for example, designers method in 1980s about drawing. Okay, they bring that computers for how to draw. Okay, same thing may, but that's what computer for design, okay? So computer-aided design, okay? Then after a few years later, idea to Bill Mogridge, right? Bill Mogridge, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He come up with so-called soft design or interaction design. Then he identified what designers need to design in the area of new technology. So he created first soft design, but later on they changed the name, interaction design. Okay. If we look at AI, many designers exciting of AI, generative AI, bring to how to create customer journey map, meaning that new technology for old method for customer journey map. For the time being, maybe that's good, but eventually, it's not for AI for design, but eventually, what is the new things, new tools because of AI we should create? I don't know what's that. We are not supposed to bring AI for old method. We rather challenging to define what are the new methods so that AI become more human side or more better side. Okay, I think that's the one. What I see really huge potential of AI. As Daniela talking about big system, right? She's talking about we are not talking about only designing the system, but the way to build all the complex system. Now, because of generative AI, we can easily collect all those data, and you can easily understand the entire complex system, which could not be possible in the past, which was not done by designers. Okay, so it's about time we do not just do several post-it and cluster. Okay, this is our understanding, but there are huge technical feasibility to draw more precise way of the system, right? So why not? We should do that. Okay, we should teach them. Okay, I think that's what I thought.
Okay. Before moving on, the other question, because like kind of AI, digital technology, I think this is really important. But I want to ask Mr. Shibata, because Japan is very kind of service-oriented country, but sometimes they have dilemma because they are too good service. So how they can make a kind of technology accept? So can you share some experience and some ideas?
Yeah, as I mentioned in the presentation, we are facing the shortage of workforce, right? So anyway, we need to apply several technology like robotics or AI-based bot. But still, I think it's just a matter of costs. Technology is almost there. So if that are available and affordable, and then we will use more technology in the service industry, I guess. We have like ramen robot, or the cleaning robot is already very common. So it's. Yeah.
But I want to learn, for example, hospitality services are so good, for example, omotenashi business, and how it can be digitalized. So how you guys can capture the sense of service in Japan and culture?
Yeah, related to the previous question, I guess, AI needs a sense of humor. That's the key of the implementation into that technology to the hospitality business.
Oh, you are very positive.
Yeah, because why not?
Okay, why not? That's good. Why not? That's good. Okay, let's move on one more time, and then the other question from floor. Okay. Time to ask. Okay. So
Thank you, thank you. Thank you all for the wonderful presentation. I've learned a lot. I guess one of the questions I'm also pondering is the question that Professor Lee mentioned in the beginning about what is the difference between social design and service design, because in our school we are teaching both. And I think more and more both colleagues from both disciplines, we have very crossed over strategies and methods. And I think students are learning a lot from that. But also like from here, your experience, how could we differentiate, or are they inevitably becoming one similar discipline? Thanks.
Yes, they do overlap a lot, and there is different interpretations, and depending on who is talking about the field. So probably there is a service design that can be developed with a social change perspective, and there can be a social design with a focus more on service innovation. So they overlap. So design for social innovation has been for times working across service design, but some of the output of design for social innovation could not necessarily be a service. So I would say that service design is really around the idea of the output and working around the innovation of services, even if services can be many things if you interpret in a very large sense. But the focus is around the service as an object, let's say, or service system. The social innovation, social design, the object can be from a product to a system, but the aim is to have an impact on the social process of innovation. So the innovation process should engage a social change, and the aim is about a social aim. So I think that's where I see the main differences, but they definitely overlaps. And in our master program, for example, we have both. We have projects more around social innovation, something more typical service social innovation or service innovation, and we don't try to create difference, but I would say that's service innovation can be also in the private and service innovation industries, but again, a social innovation could be also in that context if it's trying to push some change more in the dynamics, relationships, or social responsible innovation and so on. So they do overlap, I would say. So I'm not answering, sorry.
I think originally my understanding was the service design is more oriented for commercial business, and while social innovation, social design is more or less NGO and public affairs and those things. But through today's presentation, I understood that maybe it's a means and ends relationship. So we do use service design in order to achieve social innovation. Okay, that is why understanding service design doesn't necessarily mean that it's really big system. If you look at Shibata-san's today presentation, even if changing small icon, a signboard, that can be a service design, okay, to achieve that one, okay. So that kind of relationship I think we can do. Of course, those two methodologically, process-like, there are huge overlap. So that's why compared to other, our education, service design and social design in our design education, they are more closely overlap, and they took that's what my policy to share that step together. They teach together.
I just add, we noticed that there is a much more urban scale when we look into social innovation. So often it's about work in every neighborhoods or communities, and often connected to urban transformation. So it tends to go in those kind of, mostly toward that kind of topics. But they are mixed.
Okay, Jaden.
I've always seen service design as, and I mean this in a positive way, a very generic tool that could be applied across disciplines, industries. Social innovation, I think, has a specific point of view, and that you need to have that point of view if you're going to practice it. But I think you can practice service design without a point of view.
I have one question to Shibata-san.
Okay.
Because,
For you. Oh, very interactive. Okay, sounds nice. Okay.
because
Okay.
really, he's the one from industry side. We are from the greenhouse academia, right? You have been working in the industry. You do actual real world and what do you expect the quality of the student from your side? What do you demand? Okay, what do you want to have people to go to industry?
Well, I think that as a design consulting firm, we are looking for two different types. One type is a quite specialized designer, like professional product designer or UX designers. And still, there are certain needs for that kind of design business. But if we look at the future, actually, we don't really mind about the disciplines. I don't know, maybe, most of us, or maybe only me, but I think design is just a design, one design, that's all for all. So if you can understand the essence of design through product design or through service design, but the essence is, I think it's same. So if the student gets the core value of design, so then I don't really care what background they have.
So what is the core essence of design?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Someone can answer that question? No, it's really, really difficult. There is no.
This is great.
He can answer.
Okay. Okay, here is kind of, I'm so busy. Okay, good. Okay,
I can't wait to hear this myself.
Okay.
This is Hay from School of Design, teaching fellow. I just want to build on the question and follow the question is like, what kind of quality of student are you looking for when they join like your agency or other services? Like the quality of designer that have principle that related to social impact or service design qualities.
Again, there are two types of quality. We expect, if we hire a product designer, we expect they can, make nice renderings, 3D renderings, modelings. But also, we are looking for the out-of-box ideas always, right? So in that case, the skill set doesn't matter, but the way how you think is also important. So there are two types of the skill set will be needed. And what is the core of design? The body of design.
I think it's problem solving, right? I think it throw out to there's so many problems in the world right now, and we all need designers. It's interesting to go back to how ideal kind of changing the culture and transforming. Everyone in the corporate or government should be a design thinker, right? I think that's the role of design, is helping people to use problem solving as a skill set to change the society in some positive ways.
So, if there is no problem in the world, so we don't need designer anymore, right? Do you agree on that? if there is no problem on this earth, then no need to be a designer. There's no role for designer.
Is that an answer? Like
No,
all
I'm
questions-
asking. Do you think still designer is needed, even there's no problem in the world?
So if the designer
case
is
there
a
was no
problem,
problem.
Maybe not on the Earth, but like in other space, there will always be problem. I think
oh yeah.
Okay,
if there's people.
As long as there are humans, there will be.
They
I know,
inspire.
I know it is time up, but I just wanna, I have a big problem actually. When we reformed our the curriculum, so that we blur each specialism, okay, product design, rather more interdisciplinary, all round the player. That we expect, okay, that society changing. But industry in Hong Kong, for example, small company, they expect our graduate from day one, they already begin to design, okay? Yeah. If we really teach in-depth, let's say, product design, all the way for hands-on skill, immediately 4 years later, they can maybe immediately begin to work as industry one, okay? But in other way, if we do interdisciplinary more, something, maybe they cannot meet immediate demand of industry. Maybe after a few years, it turned out they will be better. But that's really still, I have really problem. How much demand from industry wish to embrace? Or how much a little bit, to have a more almighty, all-round designers. So that really control quite challenging. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, time is up. Never-ending question. So we will touch kind of super fundamental thing after this. Okay. Thank you so much for
you.
today's kind of
Thank you.
discussion and your presentation. Also, here's one thing we want to share. Kind of whole today's kind of key topic will be here to summarize. Okay, design, service, and then know kind of many right things, thinking. This is everything based on our conversation. They spread out. Also, one thing I want to really thank you, Pierre and teams, to huge support to make it happening for morning session.